This may sound like a major inconvenience, but I'm going to have to ask you to go to patreon.com/recesscastproductions. For less than the cost of taking a historic item from your local historical society, you can support our show with far less ethical concerns, as bonus content, exclusive episodes, and early access. Again, that's patreon.com/recesscastproductions. Enjoy the show.
You know a movie is good when the IMDb has an add synopsis option instead of just taking you to an already existing synopsis.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the After Credits Cast, the only film podcast that will have likely talked about this movie in the history of mankind.
Oh no.
I'm AJ Waseska, and I'm joined by Ryan Metters. Ryan, how you doing?
Why did you have me watch this film?
You know, Ryan, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's okay.
It's poor bad. It's poor bad.
I mean, you say this, but like, is this Final Fantasy bad?
No, it's not Final Fantasy bad. Wow. Okay. You know it's a low bar when we have the pro that we have to give it is it's not Final Fantasy bad.
And we mean the Final Fantasy movie, guys. Don't at us for your Final Fantasy games. We're not.
I'm sure the games are fantastic. I've never played them, and I know they've got a lovely following and some passionate fans.
Didn't you start playing the new one?
Everybody can admit the movie was garbage.
Didn't you start playing the new one?
I played the demo.
Okay,
which was interesting.
Okay. Theme this week is Lavender Town. It's been the theme all season. If you hadn't caught it by now, you're gonna definitely not understand this movie at all. We got some links down below for Patreon, YouTube, all that shit. It's down there. We're low energy right now, I think. It's just a little low energy. I don't know. Ryan, we've been doing this ghost thing for a while. I am ready to move on to greater heights, as it were. The heights of Godzilla and King Kong. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Next week.
I'm ready to.
Well, actually, I don't know when this episode's coming out. I might go out of order, but soon. Very soon.
Cagliostro. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but every time that happens, the schedule doesn't matter. or whenever a what do you call it? A Christopher Nolan movie gets delayed. The schedule doesn't matter. It's fine.
Welcome to the After Credits podcast, where the movies are out of order and the schedule doesn't matter.
Love it. This week, of course, we're talking about 2014 Suburban Gothic, a movie you probably didn't hear about until now. Directed by Richard Bates and written by him and Mark Bruner. No box office numbers, as this made the rounds at some festivals and then went to streaming. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, just means it didn't go to theaters.
But in this case, it's bad. Anyway, sorry, we have a cast?
We got a cast here, including Mel Rodriguez, Sally Kirkland, Muse Watson, Barbara Nevin, Ray Wise, Kat Dennings, and the only one here who probably matters is Matthew Gray Gubler.
I would argue that Kat Dennings matters.
Yeah, but
I don't know why the fuck she did this movie.
Yeah, but she's got like maybe a third the screen time.
You remember when last week when I said there are some, I think, like, actors, there are some projects that they work on that they just took it for the check. I was like, why you're in this movie? You're so much more talented than this. This is that movie for Kat Dennings.
I might have surprised you in that one, but we'll get to that in the fun facts.
All right.
This movie has one award, Ryan. It has an award.
It does?
Yeah. It has one Screenfest award for Best Actor to Matthew Gray Gubler.
Okay, so just to clarify, that is the main character, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I think he did pretty good. Compared to what we could have gotten and what everyone else was bringing to the table, minus, of course, Kat Dennings, I think he did okay. He was more or less interesting.
He was interesting, yes. I will give you that. He was interesting.
Ryan, I believe you have some fun facts for us.
Okay. Alright, fun fact number 1. Most of the initial cast, including Ray Wise, Jeffrey Combs, Jack Plotnick, and Mackenzie Phillips, have made guest appearances on the show Criminal Minds, 2005, which co-stars Matthew Gray Gubler.
Yep.
I feel like this is Gubler's vanity project now that I'm hearing all these.
It might be.
And, oh wow, great! What a wonderful fun fact. I just read the second one. Goobler and Dennings were once a couple back in the late 2000s. They had broken up before this film, but have been cast together in several projects since. Huh.
Yeah. There weren't a whole lot of fun facts to this one. I don't know if you caught on to that.
Matthew Gray Goobler. I gotta look up this IMDb now, because, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, just look up his face. Have you ever seen Criminal Minds, Ryan? I'm not saying religiously, but like an episode or two here or there. I don't know.
I think I may have seen, like, bits of an episode.
Okay. I imagine when you see the guy, you might be like, oh yeah, that guy.
Well, I mean, I literally just watched it like an hour ago.
Right, yeah, sorry, my bad. I'm fucking jackass, my bad.
I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, what else has he been? So apparently it was mostly just Criminal Minds. Well, and apparently he was also in Dollface, which was a TV series, and something called Horse Girl, which I don't even want to look up.
Oh, I'll be looking it up right now.
Oh my god.
Horse.
Oh, he voiced the Riddler in Assault on Arkham.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that one. Yeah. Horse Girl. I'm gonna play a trailer while we're doing this podcast. Yes, you will hear it. So I will do a play-by-play. So some lady gave this other girl a box. Now they're doing yoga. Yoga's happening. Sarah's the girl. She's talking. Oh, that's fuck. What's her name? The girl from not Criminal Minds. Brie Larson. That's who it is.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's her. Yeah, no, that's her face. I recognize Brie Larson's face anywhere. She's Horse Girl, apparently. And they're doing like a double date thing. There's some white dude there. Of course she's going to be interested in a white dude. You can't cast her against anyone else. Oh, they're kissing in front of a light, drinking water, dancing. Old lady again. It's a mirror. The dude looks familiar, too. I don't know who he is. This is a Netflix show, by the way. Or movie. I don't know what it is, honestly. Let's see. Producers of some stuff. Actually, a lot of these actors look kind of familiar. I think it's just maybe like regular Netflix roster.
Oh my god. So I was just looking at the IMDb for Suburban Gothic, and I knew one of these actresses looked familiar.
Oh yeah?
Do you remember Noelle, the girl who ended up running the fucking Latina porn site?
Yeah.
That's a thing in this movie?
Yeah.
That's Cynthia, Cisco's ex from The Flash.
The, like, other dimension hopping
Yes.
chick? Oh, I didn't catch that. Good catch.
I'm so mad at this. What was she doing in this?
That's another fun fact, everybody. That's Ryan's third fun fact. He's obligated to do 3. There you go.
This is obviously before she learned to Flash, I'm guessing.
Let's see. Well, when did Flash come out? Because this is 2014. Flash is on season 6, so it might have actually been around the same time. Well, okay, before her turn as in the Flash, but definitely around the time Flash started. So I think Horse Girl might be kind of a horror movie. Or at least a psychological horror.
God.
Yeah. Oh, okay, it has something to do with lucid dreams and shit. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Check out Horse Girl, everybody. That's a movie. A thing. Anyway, oh yeah, we got we got really sidetracked there. We got some initial thoughts for this movie. You could tell we're definitely focused. Ryan, I actually did have a few good laughs. Not like chuckling all the way through, but I had a couple moments where I'm like, oh, that's funny. And I enjoyed what the 2 main leads, Matthew and Kat did. And even Ray Wise had a moment or two where I'm like, you know what? That delivery was pretty good. It was pretty good. So I wasn't really bored, but I will say that this feels totally inconsistent and might be a bit too long.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from there. I also had a couple of laughs, although my laughs usually were born out of what the fuck moments. So like there was a lot of this movie that was just saying what the fuck over and over again. Seeing the ceiling light pour down ejaculate on the main character.
Yeah, that was a bit
because he's being haunted. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching today? What is this? So yeah, a couple of laughs. I am always a fan for seeing Kat Dennings on the screen. I don't think that wig does her justice, but that's neither here nor there. I still liked her character. Yeah, this was a movie.
It was a movie. I was gonna say something, and to be fair, the original schedule did call for a Guillermo del Toro ghost movie, but before you get mad that I switched it, I thought that would make more sense in a full-on del Toro season, because he's got quite a catalog of interesting, good stuff.
Yes. Del Toro's. I'm fully behind this idea.
And I felt weird pulling one out and then just having it out of context. I'm like, this belongs with the other ones. We need to wait for this one. It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. So I threw this in there thinking this would be kind of funny to check out, because the trailer, when I first saw it, like, okay, this trailer has my attention. I'll give it a look. While this movie is not a shining example of ghost stuff, and while it's not the funniest movie I've seen, it's quote unquote serviceable, I would say. That's about as far as I'd go.
I'd say it's functional.
Yeah.
It's fun.
High praise. I got a synopsis for you, Ryan. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Raymond, a young millennial, must return home after college because he can't find work. We've all been there. His dad is a bit of a blowhard asshole, and his mom is a bit of an enabler who does whatever the father says. Raymond reconnects with the old colleagues, which doesn't go well. He meets a girl who is kind of attracted to him, but kind of not. After getting drunk one night and returning home, his spiritual gift from childhood reawakens and he sees ghosts. But this is not a drunken stupor. The people working on his father's property found a dead body and removed it and an item from its casket. This causes a black ooze, not unlike venom, to start attacking people in the house and fucking with people. And at rude times, too, like when Raymond's trying to spank the monkey to a very erotic website. While Raymond claims all this haunting stuff is happening, his dad is losing patience with him and plans to send him to an asylum, because that's always how you do things. Responsible parents, yeah. They don't if their kids don't fall into conformity with the conservative values, you're going to an asylum. That's how it works. However, the bartender girl helps Raymond by researching what happens. What happened, I should say. We discover that the dad also found the body his landscapers had uncovered, which he probably sold or gave away to the greatest villains of all time, the local historical society. Dun, dun, dun. But this is not a problem, barely an inconvenience. Turns out that the lady who works there doesn't like the guy in charge of society and just gives the corpse away anyway.
Honestly, I think the greatest act of villainy was that pencil fucking mustache.
Yeah, that was a bit much. When this fails to work, they discover they also need to get a trinket that the girl was buried with to appease Papa Ghost. This trinket was stolen by the landscaper from before. Also, Aaron meets a porn star for some reason, and it's implied that she may be his sister from an affair his mother had, but it's really unclear. Raymond...
Wait, what?
Yeah, so we'll get to that. Raymond returns the MacGuffin to the grave, tells his father that and the cops to fuck off, and then opens his own paranormal investigation office because you've got the talent, why wouldn't you? That's a movie.
Oh my god. Wait, what?
So it's implied throughout the film the mother obviously had an affair with the landscaper guy.
I caught that, although I didn't know if it was actually implied that they went all the way or that she just really had feelings for him and then at the end ends up marrying the guy because the dad's a dickhead.
I assume that something did happen because I feel like... Because I think they made a mention of something in that... I wish I had something in front of me to play it or a reference thing, but obviously there's not enough information about this movie out there because no one's seen it. But there's a line or two they drop during the conversation when they meet where it's kind of implied, because they say that because their families know each other so well that they've never met before. And my first instinct is that because they don't want her to meet him because they might be related? Because she might be a lost daughter to the mother and the father can't know about her?
Now here's the thing. Because they looked about the same age, and I think if it was his dad screwing around with some lady outside of the house, I think it would be plausible. But I don't think the mom would have been able to hide being pregnant with the whole ass other baby.
I don't know.
I'm more than happy. I'm more than willing to say that they probably fucked around. Like, that's definitely a thing that probably happened, especially considering that they're together. And while he's missing, you see the mom like kissing his picture goodnight and like really worried about him. Like, I'm sure they fucked around at some point. I don't think that girl is hers though.
I don't know. I could be convinced otherwise, but we'll see. We'll see. If anyone out there has actually watched this film, feel free to leave your opinion. And the one of you that does and has watched this movie, good on you for sticking through to the end. Ryan, I've got a handful of questions here that we will eventually get to at some point or another. Ryan, how you doing tonight? How's it going?
I'm just we do not have a lot to say about this movie. No, I'm doing pretty good. I am doing fairly well. I was mostly watching this and thinking, well, we have to eat our vegetables as podcasters. We can't only watch good shit.
Yeah, but man, you know what? In the zombie season, we picked a very good plethora of different zombie films that actually played really well into the vastness of that genre. There's not as many compelling ghost stories, or at least there's enough of them. Like, okay, so I could have gone
we hit a lot of classics.
Yeah. But I could have gone for an A24 movie. But the problem with that is that those seem to be very heady, and I don't know if I'm really into that right now. I could have gone for that Patrick Swayze ghost movie, but I don't know.
Oh man, Allegra would have loved you for it, because like I haven't seen many Patrick Swayze movies, so she's been introducing me to them. Like, I watched Roadhouse with her. I watched Dirty Dancing for the first time, and Dirty Dancing sequel, which was made in like 2000 or so. That also had Patrick Swayze in it. But if you had given her an excuse to have me watch Ghost with her, she would have loved you forever.
See, I was tempted, but part of me is like, it's got a ghost in it, but does it fit with the rest of the ones we're doing? And I'm like, I don't know if it does. And I thought Casper, but like, I don't want to sit through Casper, so...
Yeah. The nostalgia glasses won't hold up. They won't hold up.
The CGI is so bad in that one. So I'm sitting here like, what can I fit in here? And like I said, I had that Del Toro one, but part of me is like, I want to hold this for something else. There's got to be something else I can put in here. Then I saw a trailer for this. Amanda showed it to me, and I'm like, okay, this looks intriguing. I'll give it a fair shake and see what we get. And I'm not overly disappointed. I've seen a lot worse, but like, I was hoping for a little bit more. You know? Just a little bit. Something a little bit sharper, a little bit funnier, maybe a little less jizz everywhere. A little bit. I don't know. But, I don't know. I had high hopes that we have this one. This will probably go like middle of the season, just to kind of bridge the gap between the Conjurings in the beginning and the better stuff in the end. I don't know.
That way we don't end on this.
I think the Haunting actually might be the one we end with, because it's so fucking weird how we did that one.
Oh God.
Tune in a few weeks for the Haunting, because that's how the schedule's going to go now. But yeah, no. So that's kind of the bind I was in when making this schedule up, and I guess I'll get to the final question I got here, Ryan, for you. Are you disappointed that Ghostbusters got delayed and focused and forced us to rearrange the schedule, and we happen to have this film in the list?
Yes. I'm sorry. Did you want like a deep answer to that? I mean, yeah. Seeing Finn Wolfhard, like my boy from Stranger Things, reboot the series and like actually have like a really great spiritual successor to the Ghostbusters of old. Yeah, I wanted that. I wanted to see that.
I had 3 Ghostbusters in this schedule for this year. It was going to be magical. We had the original, we had the sequel, we had this one that was going to come out this year, and then guess what happened, guys? Fucking virus delayed everything.
The plague.
Yep. And so Sony's like, oh, the things are getting delayed. We're just going to take everything we have and put it into 2021. You could have gotten Ghostbusters. We could have finally done Morbius and stopped talking about it. Guys, I want to talk about Morbius. I really do. I don't think it's going to be good, but I want to talk about it.
There's a part of me that feels a little hopeful for Morbius. Just a little bit.
Listen, you got acclaimed, talented character actor...
Michael Keaton.
No, not Michael Keaton. Jared Leto, who played a version of the Joker. And
he did play a version.
And other stuff. I don't know what else he played, but I know he's talented. I'm told this by many people. And so when you have him playing the Morbius, and you know he's out there sucking blood out of things right now to get into the role, I want to see that talent. I want to see that commitment paid off on screen. I want to see this.
I'm like, we'll get it. We'll get it. Just the plague has thrown everybody in a tizzy, and I mean, Hollywood would rather slit their wrists than like try and like push everything onto streaming platforms.
Right,
because the theaters are going to realize that they're actually getting to be obsolete really fast.
Well, they've been obsolete for a while. They've been obsolete for so long.
I don't think they're obsolete, and I know we've talked about this before, but I do really enjoy like going out to the movies. I think that's a whole event, and that's really, really cool.
But I think only certain films benefit from that, though.
Yes, very true.
And I think that Morbius would benefit from streaming. We should get it on streaming right now. I demand it, actually, because this virus has, Ryan, no joke, it has impacted my life the worst of everybody. I think.
Really?
I think it has.
Oh, please, do tell, sir.
I'm digging myself a hole so bad here. No, Ryan, it's impacted my life worse than anyone else. I don't care about your story about your 5 weeks out of work. I don't care about your story about what's another one that's not about death. Don't want to get too hard on that one. I don't care about your story about how you haven't left your house in 3 months because you're afraid someone's going to sneeze on you. I do that every day. I have been inconvenienced because I can't watch a vampire movie starring Jared Leto, the greatest talent of all time. I am so inconvenienced right now that I feel like my privilege is showing.
Oh my god. Anywho.
So Ryan, since we can't talk about Morbius, the most interesting film of 2021, we'll have to talk about this movie instead. A movie from 2014 that may or may not have been interesting. Are you ready for this?
All right, let's get to it.
Ryan, did the dad have any valid criticisms about his son? Why or why not?
I think underneath all of the bluster, he actually was worried about his kid, and because I mean, like, I think everybody wants their children to succeed and like really get a handle on life, and like the typical millennial problems of like getting out of school and like not having a job to land on, and like having to go back home is just already like frustrating on everybody. So like there was a part of that I thought was based not necessarily in truth of the situation, but in truth of like how he felt, because he was worried that his son needs to be able to take care of himself. I understand that. That being said, the dad was a fucking asshole.
Well, yeah,
he's just complete asshole. Any criticisms or like real work or like real emotions that he wanted to convey to his son was just lost in his assholery.
It's the typical boomer millennial conflict, I guess you could put it, because I'm not trying to throw every boomer on the bus. I'm sure some of y'all are nice, the one of you who listens to podcasts, but so in typical fashion of this older mentality, he's got a very hard-on approach to dealing with mental issues, in that they aren't really, a concern. You get over it, you're done. The whole job thing, you get out there, take what you can get, and call it good. You don't just fucking do what Raymond does and wait for the perfect job. You get out, get what you can get, and there is some truth to some of the stuff he's saying. But to bring it back, though, you could say it better in a much more supportive way. That's a good way to put it. A more supportive way. And
constructive criticism.
Yes, the
emphasis needs to be on constructive.
And you could also be more helpful with it too. Like, hey, do you know better options for jobs? Do you have any good connections or anything? I mean, I get it too. Raymond doesn't want to owe his dad anything, so you could argue some of the criticisms are valid because Raymond's also being difficult. But we'll get to Raymond's half of the argument in a minute. But I don't think the dad is fully horrible. But I do think that the way he's presented, especially since I think we're mostly in Raymond's perspective, he does come off as more horrible, and because we are in the same generation as Raymond, or at least kind of, you and I are anyway, we're both millennials, we definitely side with him more just on the grounds that is the kind of attitude we deal with when it comes to this kind of stuff, for sure.
I will admit to there being probable bias in the fact that we are definitely closer to Raymond's shoes than we are to his father's, but I still contest that the father's just a horrible person.
Oh yeah,
just like by and large, like I think there are valid worries and concerns that he has about his son, and that if he had one iota of fucking self-awareness and like being able to like actually connect with his son, then they might have had something meaningful happen. But I mean, yeah, no, fuck him. Like honestly, I'm tired of him. Like the whole parading all of the parading like his football players like towards the end, and saying like all of these like really proud things about these kids, and then turning around and saying when Raymond has like that episode where he starts screaming and he says, "I'm sorry I embarrassed you," and he says, "My life with you has been has been so low bar to the point where like that doesn't really have any effect on me. It's just you." And I'm like, how like in terms of like what like the worst shit you could ever say to your kid, that's pretty up there. Mm-hmm. That's pretty up there. Yeah, so fuck him. Nah, like I felt really vindicated when he told his dad to fuck off at the end and then left.
All of the cops too. That was great.
He was like, "Yep, well, I've just saved you guys from a horrible pair of spirits, and I've reunited them in the afterlife. So, on behalf of our services, fuck you.
Love you, Mom.
Especially fuck you. Not you, Mom. I love you."
Yeah, that part made me laugh a little bit. That was good.
That was good. That was good shit.
Okay, so flip side of the argument here. Was Raymond's criticism of the family and his town fair? Why or why not?
So of the town, I want to say probably. I mean, because like the feelings of like being constricted, like confined to your small town where people don't really change, and like they grow up in the same place and they never leave, and they're just like so small-minded and so close-minded that like you feel like you're stifled in town. Like that's a very true to life feeling, especially in suburbia. So I think his criticisms of that were definitely valid. In terms of his family, yeah, like I said, we definitely have some biases regarding that. His mom was, like, aside from being a bit of an enabler and a pushover and like not really like sticking up for her son when when the father was concerned, you could tell she really loved Raymond and that she was trying her best to help get him started and trying to get him networking with other people. But I mean, yeah, it takes two to tango in that one. And yes, he was being a bit difficult with that setup, but it also wasn't what he wanted to do. So
yeah, that's a hard balancing act, because I think what a lot of a lot of people growing up as millennials want to do is so vastly different from what boomers and older generations are used to for careers and jobs and goals and dreams, that they can't really understand how it works, or they don't understand why those careers are even a valid option. Like, a lot of millennials do choose to go for creative fields that don't generate a lot of money up front, but it's something that's more passionate and fun for them, and it makes them feel more alive, I guess. And it's better than being cooped up in a fucking insurance office for years at a time. But people in the older generations don't understand it because they just worked and they lived and they had the whole, what do you call it, for a nuclear family house situation. And I'm sitting here like, I would like to have a family, sure. I would also like to be able to say I successfully wrote a book or made a game or it got my voice heard around the world for something good I did. I want to leave a mark on the world that actually means something. Hey, podcast. Here you go. So yeah, I think there's definitely a divide just in terms of how they approach life. There's even a article I read earlier today regarding the work from home situation we're currently going through. This is something millennials have, a lot of millennials in our age group have wanted for a while now, because that gives them more freedom and flexibility and out of the stifling hold of an office. And a lot of businesses that have been doing it already feel like they have made the transition better and have been able to withstand the effects of this virus issue much better than businesses who are so rigid and unwilling to do it for the longest time.
Yeah, like and speaking as somebody who works for a company that has had work from home like implemented it as a part of the scheduling options. It definitely wasn't if you just want to work from home forever, you can do that. But it was definitely like a couple of times out of the month you can work from home. If you're not feeling well or you're running late, you can just decide, and you have your laptop, you can just work from home. So yeah, it's that's definitely true, and that's definitely something that the younger generation has been wanting. This though, along with the rest of this conversation, makes me feel like I kind of lean more towards like that older way of thinking.
Oh, really?
Because I hate work from home so much.
Well, so on this specific issue, you mean?
Well, not necessarily on this specific issue though. Like that's one thing, but also like the biggest thing that we've been talking about was this whole concept of like what people want out of life. And my aims, even though I graduated with a degree in music and I love music, I love to sing, like I didn't have any grand ambitions or like creative aspirations to like when I got out of college. Like my dream was always to find something that I didn't hate, but like that didn't make me want to rip my hair out, but that I could support comfortably a family like that. Like my end goal was always kind of that nuclear family, like dream that the older generations had before this. And more as I get older, I find it harder and harder to achieve because the landscape and the culture is definitely changing, not only from a financial standpoint where the job market is changing, but also in like what other people my age also want. And so it's like the conversation's kind of shining a light on how I'm an old soul in certain respects.
Well, let me rephrase that, because maybe I was projecting a bit and misspoke. But I don't think it's necessarily creative fields. That's more my thing. But I think the mentality of the millennial generation, and again, I'm not speaking for everybody, but broad strokes. I think it's more that what you said. We want jobs that we can be happy with and have fun with and actually enjoy. But the old school mentality that I've been preached to by my parents and by people outside of them, but like in that same generation, is that jobs aren't supposed to be fun. You go, you do your work, you go home, and that's it. And I don't see why you can't have both. There are jobs out there that are not designed, but there are jobs that do allow more fun, and if it is something you are passionate about, I don't see why you can't have fun with it. I mean, sure, yeah, it might suck to be an actor every now and then, but if you can find something you're passionate about within that field, like if you can find that one project that you really wanted to do, there you go. If you are someone who's good with your hands and you realize that maybe you do want to work on a trade that actually speaks to you, that might be something that you're passionate about and you have fun with it every day. I think that door is available and that is an option. But just so many people of that older generation just feel like they had to settle because a lot of them, from the boomer generation I think specifically, had kids at a young age and couldn't have the life they wanted. So they just assumed that that no one could. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's also, from playing devil's advocate, it's also kind of like speaking as somebody who's living in that situation right now, it's hard to kind of put everything down and really go after those dreams and passions because our society is built in such a way whereas if you don't work for 40 hours a week and you're not giving like the majority of your waking hours to some corporation in exchange for a paycheck so that you can have enough money to provide basic necessities for your life, like it's hard to shift all of your energy towards doing something you're passionate about while maintaining a livelihood.
And that's fair. To which
I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just for someone in my position, I feel like I came to a crossroads where I could either put everything aside, stay with my parents, and really try to go after my passion, or I could put that passion aside for a little bit and try and establish myself as an adult and really get my feet under me. And I chose option B, and I feel good with the independence that I've obtained, and I live comfortably enough, but I'm not happy because I didn't go after my passion. And now when I try to change gears, there's all of these things that I have to keep afloat, like car and rent and insurance and all this, that, and the other. So how do you do that while also going after something you're passionate about? It's a balancing act, and it's hard to shift once you've made a choice. It feels like I don't think I'm the only person that's experiencing that.
I understand completely what you mean. So I'll talk about my situation, for example, not to derail too much, but so you know me, right? I want to write a book. I have so many creative endeavors I want to accomplish, but in my day-to-day life, I've got a job to take care of. I've got a house to maintain. I have a wife I got to keep happy, and also to help her achieve her goals as well. I work. Did I mention work? I work at least 8 hours a day, sometimes more, especially when we're in heating season or in cooling season, because, good Lord, man, it's hot out there. I have to also study for that job because there's an apprenticeship program. There's also the fact I would like some time to myself to play a game or two when I can. There's also the book I'm working on. There's the game I'm working on. The other book I started working on. And there's something else I was working on too. I can't remember what now. Obviously, too many projects. Oh, podcast. I do a podcast. That's a project I work on all the time. So I understand what it means to have yourself stretched thin and to find it difficult to put in the extra effort for the thing you want to do. And I know it sounds like I do the thing I want to do with the 3 things listed, but none of them are published or out there or successful. So there is that debate there. My advice to those in your situation, so do you, would be 2 things. One, as scary as it might be, I would almost recommend just taking a big jump or a big risk and jump into something that you are uncomfortable and unfamiliar with. As strange as it sounds, I jumped into this field I'm in now for work, and it fuels the passion I have for learning. It fuels the passion I have for helping people and working and fixing and maintaining things. I'm not saying do this job specifically, but find something out there that fits various triggers for you that you may not have expected, and you might actually find something very helpful and unique to making you happy that you would not have expected at all, actually. Second point I would say is, like the advice I get when it comes to writing stuff, for creative stuff, like for music, for example, just do a little bit every day. When it comes to writing, they always tell me, hey, write like whatever you can every day. It doesn't have to be like a chapter, it doesn't have to be a whole paragraph, it could even just be a word. But if you get a little bit every day, you can at least say you accomplished something, and it can be a building block towards something bigger. So when it comes to the music stuff, just take it piece by piece, a little at a time, and even if you only have 5 minutes, just figure something you can shove into that 5 minutes to at least say that you are chipping away at the idea that you want to do, and eventually you will have the bigger picture laid out in front of you. It may take a while, but you might get there.
Man, this got deeper than I thought on this podcast.
I love it when we get to these weird, like, middle-of-the-road movies that neither of us really expected to be good, but, like, then we get to these deep conversations, and the worst part is, no one's going to listen to this episode, because they're like, what the fuck is Suburban Gothic? And they're going to miss this conversation.
I mean, to be fair, this still isn't a good movie, but it sparked a good conversation.
Yeah, that's fair. And I don't mean to be preaching, come off my soapbox like that, but those are just words of wisdom I have been told, and I like pass them on when I can.
Well, y'all heard it here first, straight from the mouth of Aaron.
Yep.
That's pure A1 grade wisdom right there.
Yep. I actually did one of those Facebook quizzes where you get to be determined as a character from a show, and I did the one for Last Airbender. Obviously, I got Iroh.
Yay!
The wisdom, the tea, it all fits. I just need to be able to breathe fire now.
I got Katara. I'm not mad at this.
Katara's a solid pick. You are very supportive. I could see you being the healer of our group. You've played the cleric in a few different RPGs, haven't you?
I'm playing a druid in one right now.
I mean, druids can heal. It's fine.
Yeah, I am the healer of the group.
Okay. I've got a few more questions here. We can try squeezing through. We're actually at 40 minutes. I'm surprised we actually lasted this long. That's what she said. Do you feel there was a proper build-up to Raymond opening his own detective agency or paranormal detective agency?
I mean, it felt like a "this might as well happen" thing. Like, I'm glad he was it. Like, they were able to establish that, like, he's able to like find his own way at the end of the movie, because like staying with his parents was just not viable. Like, he he was gonna kill his father at some point. Like, I wholeheartedly believe this. So, like, him being able to, like, strike out there and embrace the shit that made him odd, and, like, it was, like, that he's able to make a living out of it was actually really, really cool. So I was happy to see that. That was a nice, happy ending for this movie.
Yep. I know this movie isn't great and obviously is not received super popular. I would not be opposed to them, quote-unquote, rebooting and just doing, like, Raymond as a detective agency with ghosts. Like, I could see that being fun with the right writer involved.
I mean, if you gave me, like, Paranorman older, then yes.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be fun.
Because Paranorman would do this much better.
Yep. I'm down. Let's do it. Ryan, have you seen Goobler or Dennings act in anything else aside from Thor? And how does it compare?
Okay, so Kat Dennings actually had a guest role in a show called The Newsroom, written by Aaron Sorkin, and I think I've brought that name up a couple of different times. I've also seen her in the sitcom Two Broke Girls. I haven't watched that show religiously, but I mean it's Kat Dennings, so every time she's on my screen, I have to stare at least for a couple of seconds, and then we have to go back to work. But in The Newsroom, for instance, I mean, I think it's hard to be bad on The Newsroom. I think it's hard to be bad in something that Aaron Sorkin does, because he's such a great writer, and if he puts you on his shit, it's because you're amazing. But I think by that same token, just being a part of that show for a couple of episodes really speaks to the level of talent that she was able to bring. She was able to keep up with the other actors and delivering great dialogue and having great scenes. So I think she's fantastic. And like I said towards the beginning of this, I feel like this was just a paycheck. Well, now that I've heard that this is essentially Grubler's, I'm never going to get used to that name, Grubler's vanity project almost. And they used to be an item and they're still friendly, it would make sense that she was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. I don't know how she felt after this came out, because this is weird. This is a weird one.
I mean, I've seen weirder from certain actors, so it's not bad. It's not as bad as some of the weirdest shit that Nick Cage has done.
Yeah,
and we like Nick Cage.
Yeah, well, Nick Cage, I feel the urge to make excuses for Nick Cage because everything he does, he's trying to press the envelopes of his abilities, and he's just going balls to the wall.
Oh man, could you imagine if Nick Cage had been in this movie and fucking just changed everything?
Oh my god.
Hey,
I'm still reeling from the last Suburbia movie I saw Nick Cage in. What the fuck was it called? Where the parents went nuts and tried to kill their kids.
Oh wait, what was it?
And Selma Blair was his wife.
Okay, I need to look this up real quick. I don't
remember that shit.
Nick Cage and Selma Blair movie. Here we go. I think it's just called Mom and Dad.
Yeah. Wow. Fucking wow. Well, yes, we did that for podcast. So I'm still kind of reeling from that one because seeing Nick Cage as white knuckle, barely hanging on suburbia dad was terrifying. It was too real. It was too real.
Yeah, no, we need more. I want every movie that exists that's considered bad to get an injection of Nick Cage and just see how much it's better. It may not be great. In fact, it may even be worse, but it'll be more interesting to talk about.
It will absolutely be more interesting. I keep going back to the Community episode where Abed goes to Meta and is trying to figure out what is Nick Cage? What is this person? Is he a good actor? Is he a bad actor? And then he goes nuts.
And then he has his old Nick Cage thing.
Too much Nick Cage.
It's so good.
Oh, I'm a cat. I'm a sexy cat. God damn it.
Speaking of Community, I want to off rail here for a minute. What do you think about Netflix pulling the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons episode?
They pulled it?
Due to a lot of
blackface.
Yep.
Damn it.
Here's my argument against it, or against pulling it. One, out of context it looks bad, but within context it's only in for 3 seconds, and it's not actual blackface. I guess it's something a little different. And two, even Shirley calls out in the episode. It's not like they're trying to be offensive or anything.
Yeah, that's a whole nother fucking conversation because, we want meaningful legislation rather than pulling out the blackface episodes of everything on the screen. But that's neither here nor there.
Yep.
I am very sad about that because
the rest of the episode is so good.
The best episode.
Yeah.
It's the best fucking episode of Community, or one of.
Top
it's
10
definitely
for sure.
Top 5.
Yeah, top 5, yeah. I would say if you're going to pull an episode, maybe just put a disclaimer in the front of it saying, hey, this episode may contain Michael Jackson or may have blackface or whatever else is offensive out there. So watch with your own discretion. And let people choose for themselves.
Yep. Or, when, didn't Disney or Warner Brothers put a disclaimer in front of their really old cartoons where they're hey,
Disney did it for the stuff on Disney Plus, I think.
Yeah, it's just hey, there's some real fucked up shit from in ages past when it was seen as more socially acceptable. We don't condone those ideas now, but we think that going past them or ignoring that they ever happened would be detrimental to us as a society. I was just that's a very
mature,
a very mature way of handling that.
Why couldn't
they? If people want to watch those episodes, they will watch it with that context in mind.
And why couldn't they have done that for the Simpsons episode with Michael Jackson, who is arguably not even in the episode? Come on. I get the whole documentary made everyone feel uncomfortable, but disclaimer, man. That's all we need to see, and we're good. It's a great episode. It's got it's a whole Lisa Bart brother dynamic, sister dynamic thing. The whole episode's great. It's fucking great. That's a tangent right there. Ryan, was the ghost story this movie compelling? Why or why not?
Nah, not really.
Okay. Ryan, was this movie funny? If you had to give this a rating of funny from what's something that's not funny? From a dead baby to the Joker, where would you rate this?
What? What kind of fucking rating system is this? I would say, because I know that comedy is it's all entertainment is subjective. It's definitely subjective. I think there are some people that will find this movie funny.
Yeah.
I personally got a few chuckles, but mostly it was me kind of shaking my head in exasperation, or just what the fuck is why is this happening? Why did you do that? Or God, this is so fucking awkward. There are some people that are very into that type of humor, and if so, that's awesome. I personally didn't find it all that funny. I got a few laughs.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it.
I will say I did get a chuckle at the one line I didn't expect to have happen, which was the one where the dad comes down and he's like, "Why are you interrupting me when your mom's sucking me off?" or something like that. Like,
Jesus. He's like, did you really just say that? He's like, in hindsight, I wouldn't have added that last part in. Like, thanks, Pop.
it's one of those absurd jokes that I really appreciate because it's like it comes out of left field. It's really good.
I like that they followed up on it. That was a good exchange.
Yep.
That felt like authentic, like dad and son shit. Like where dad overshares and son's like, "What the fuck?" It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. All right, good night, son.
Honestly, the back and forth between Raymond and Ray Wise's character, pretty solid, good stuff, I would say.
It was.
The two of them are definitely having fun with it.
Yeah, they are. Like early on in the movie where the dad's like, you should go into town with your mom and get some new clothes. Like I understand your European style of fashion might be cool elsewhere, but it might not be appropriate for here. And he says, "Well, I appreciate your criticism of everything that I do in my life, but I'm going to pass on your wisdom because you dress like a drug dealer." I was like, this is fucking one. Okay, that's good shit. That's real good.
Yeah. That's all the questions I had for this movie, Ryan. We actually took a lot longer than I thought we would, and I only had like 5 or 6 questions.
We wandered into IRL wisdom territory, and we stayed there for a minute.
Yep, and we complained about blackface and Community, so there's that too.
Ken Jeong, he was playing a dark elf. Come on, guys.
Oh, I know. I was there. I saw it. It was great the first time, and it's still pretty funny.
As the resident black guy on this podcast, I'm going to tell you that did not bother me. It was 3 seconds, and Shirley immediately called him on it.
Yep.
So we're just going to ignore this hate crime? Perfect.
If you want to email us your hate crimes...
Wow!
No! Stop it there. If you want to email us why you think the polling of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons is wrong, you should go to our email. Ryan, what is that email?
Oh my god. That email is every actor in this place could have been doing something so much more worthwhile than this. Anyway, excuse me, that's evacstation@gmail.com.
But hey, if there's any consolation, guys, at least it wasn't Final Fantasy again.
Yep, at least it wasn't Final Fantasy. That's the tagline.
Oh god, I need to put that in there somewhere. The description or something. This is the part where we rank the movie from platinum to trash, all the colors in between. This is a weird one, Ryan. I guess we're actually doing Bucket or Fuck It still, aren't we? Where are we going to rank this one at? Because it's not quite a bucket.
I don't think it's a bucket at all, man.
But I wouldn't say a full-on fuck it either, would you?
I'm leaning towards fuck it. It's so odd. It's so zany. In terms of horror or like ghost films, in terms of like the caliber of everything else we're doing in this season, it's gotta be a fuck it for me.
So I'm gonna play this fucking horrible game here.
Oh.
So Ryan, I would say it's not quite a bucket. I would say it's the sponge you pulled from the bucket and left out to dry for 3 days. It has hints of something better here, but it's not quite getting to where it needs to go. It's not enough pep in the step. It's not enough money in the wallet, so to speak. It has good ideas and then some interesting execution, but it's not landing everything 100%. I would say it's that dried bloody sponge.
So you've invented a whole nother fucking category for this one movie.
This movie is the Temple of Doom of horror movies.
Man.
It was Temple of Doom that did PG-13, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't wrong. I got it. Fucking nailed it.
Oh my god. Okay. Alright, okay. So, my ranking is fuck it, and your ranking is we forgot to put this sponge back into the bucket, and now it's gross.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's what it is. God, this episode got way out of hand so quick.
What the hell?
Thank you all for listening to whatever the hell this was. Tune in next week whenever we get to a regular horror movie, and then tune in a few weeks from now when we get to Godzilla and other fun stuff, and then we'll end the year with some Shrek, because we gotta end it with something, and at least the Shrek movies can't be delayed.
Yeah. True facts.
There is something truth there. But thank you for listening, and tune in soon for a 2021 schedule update sometime in the near future. We'll see you after the credits.
Bye.